Again, if you're down here for the 250 Championships, you'll know that he's a very, very experienced rider. And as we get underway, we watch to see just how these conditions are going to affect things, and we watch to see him go up that back straight. It is indeed Richie Knight that's got up on the inside of Carl Wilkes as they go into that first bend. John Dormer, I can see moving through into that third place, has gone very, very wide. But as they come past me for the first time, it is Carl Wilkes that gets away from Richie Knight in second place. Richard Smith has got up into third place now, as indeed John Dormer pulls out in front of us as he goes in the inside of the circuit. We watch on that far side as indeed the very talented Carl Wilkes gets away from the rest of the field. He goes up that back straight into that top corner. Once again, I'll watch to see what sort of line he's going to take. He's holding it very, very tight on that top bend as he comes down past us for the second time. Carl Wilkes then, setting his mark on the 250 as we start the first race of the day. Richard Smith has moved up into second place. It means that holding that third spot is Richie Knight, but he's got a lot of work to catch up on Richard Smith. There's a big, big gap opened up between that first and second place, so this really does show the experience of Carl Wilkes. As he comes down past us, he'll see the last lap flag this time, but there really is no competition to him at all. You can see how some of the riders that have been behind have been absolutely filled in. Oh, Pete Strudwick is the rider that's challenging for that third place, and I hadn't seen that Carl Wilkes has been closed up on. Oh, Carl Wilkes made a dreadful error in this bottom bend. You can see that it's cost him the lead as Richard Smith has moved through into the front as they come round that top bend. Oh, I'm not sure whether Carl Wilkes was asleep or he just went into the real deep mud on the outside. It's going to be close to the line, and Richard Smith, he's hoping to hang on to it. Oh, a great ride from Richard Smith there to get the result in the end. Carl Wilkes will be disappointed with second. Richie Knight is finishing in third spot, and coming through for fourth is indeed number 300 Terry Giles. Win for number 33 Richard Smith. In second place number 248 Carl Wilkes. Third place number 229 Richie Knight. Fourth place number 300 Terry Giles, and fifth place number 32. Sixth place 176. Seventh place number 37, and the winning time 146.32. 146.32 the time, a win for number 33 Richard Smith, as indeed we're already underway with the second race of the day. We're still with the 250s, of course. Watch for number 244 Mark Wadsworth. He indeed is the yellow top that's moved through into the front of the field. Oh, we know that Mark Wadsworth has ridden this circuit 3 or 4 times. He knows his way around it, and indeed he's setting his stance on this one already. Number 75 Lee Street is the rider up in second spot. Under pressure, so Mark Wadsworth not getting it all his own way as he starts his first ride of the afternoon. I'm sure he was anxiously watching from the pit box there what was happening with Carl Wilkes, because those two have raced together an awful lot. Indeed, have partnered each other in best pairs leadings before now. He'll know that Carl made a mistake on this bottom bend, so he'll be watching to see where the best racing line is. Lee Street still trying to close on him. Graham Thomas, our national champion, of course, I missed his third spot there. Oh, he won't be pleased with being back in third spot, this sort of distance behind Wadsworth. But we'll wait to see what will happen as the day unfolds, because Lee Street now closing on Mark Wadsworth. Oh, it's certainly going to be close to the line, as Lee Street seems to have got used to the racing line a lot quicker than Mark Wadsworth. Mark's still holding it very, very tight on the entrance to the bend, and Lee Street takes advantage of that as they go round that pit bend. Well, Graham Thomas still there in third, but still this battle up at the front, because Wadsworth seems quick going up that back straight. He closes and goes on the inside going into this top bend. But watch Lee Street go a little bit wider and come on the outside as he comes down to that bend. He's cut back through on the inside, but Wadsworth it's going to be. Lee Street gets second. Graham Thomas under pressure for this third place, but as he comes to the line, he's going to hang on to it. of difficult to see, but the result, a win for number 344, Mark Wadsworth. In second place, number 75, Lee Street. Third place, number 314. That's the one that wanted Graham Thomas. Fourth place, number 44. That's Brian Cornelius. Fifth place, number 49. Sixth place, number 341. Seventh place, 30. Eighth place, 132. Ninth place, 21. 10th place, 183. 11th place, 48. And 12th place, 419. The winning time, 142.61. They had problems during practice. I'll quickly repeat that result if you missed any of those. Race 2, 344, 75, 314, 44, 49, 341, 30, 132, 21, 183, 48 and 419. The winning time, 142.61. A tremendous lineup in this 500cc sidecar class. Of course, it is the third ride in the Yamaha motor sponsored competition that these 500 sidecar drivers are trying to win. It's the 500cc Drivers Series. Now, I'm told that in the preamble at the front of the programme, it might have described this slightly wrong. It's the overall result that's important here this afternoon, and in terms of the Yamaha Series, then it's the best two rides from the 3 rounds that they ride in. So we'll just watch and enjoy what happens with the 500cc sidecars this afternoon, because the riders know exactly what it's all about. As indeed, we were pleased to see the 500cc international sidecars at Winbourne last week and against year. Well, they have indeed got that bike started of Steve Smith, so with that machine of Steve Smith. The rest of the riders being told to go without them, so only 4 on the start line. It was Mel and Lester Goodwin that made the best of that first start. They indeed have come through from the middle again and have got to the front as they go into that first corner. Followed indeed into that bend by Mark Stubberfield in second place. Kevin Lyne is the rider that's got up into third, and Mel and Lester Goodwin have pulled out. Well, I was just about to say that Mel and Lester Goodwin have been plagued by problems over the last 2 or 3 meetings that I've seen them ride. I spoke to Mel this morning. He said that it looked as if they managed to get things sorted out, and just as I was about to tell you that, I can see they pulled out on the top bend. It means therefore that we're down to 3 outfits only in the first of the 500 sidecars, and on the far side you can all see that Kevin Laird has got himself into the front of Mark Stubberfield. So, Kevin Laird and Dick Ormroyd lead as they come past me. Mark Stubberfield beginning to come under pressure from Lionel Cox and Grace Hagan. They're starting to get close for that second place. Interesting to see that these 500 sidecars have done exactly the same as the 250s. They've gone for that tight inside line. So, as I said earlier on, I think we're going to see the track drying out as the day goes on. And I think we're in for some very good finals at the end of the day. Great shame to see Mel and Lester walking back to the pits, but as you can see, Kevin Laird is now being put under pressure. Dick Ormroyd with a few signals there at the side of his helmet to let him know that he's not having it all his own way. Lionel Cox has got through into that second place and is beginning to push for that first place as well. But Kevin Laird gets away once again, goes up to that top bend. He knows he's got only 1 more corner to negotiate. Oh, Mark Stubberfield closing up as well. He's obviously disappointed in being relegated back to that third spot. But it is Kevin Laird that gets it. Lionel Cox takes second place and Mark Stubberfield finishing in third. The first of the 500 sidecars, a win for number 7, Kevin Kevin Laird and Dick Allroyd. In second place, number 78, Lionel Cox and Grace Hagan. And third place, number 9, Mark Stubberfield and Nick Harbour. The winning time was 1:57.04, 1:57.04, and the speed averages out at 49.82. Well, Martin Guilford, number 2, he's another one that's taking his time a little bit to get into line. He's on the far outside. Well, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn, the crew that are going to take the inside line. Well, Wayne Boyes joins them as well. That's number 91. He's certainly had some very good results over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Well, still Brian Palmer has not come into line. Now it looks as if we're ready to go. We've got Brian Palmer in line, the tapes go. I can see that one outfit has been left on the line. That's the outfit of number 4, Simon Baird. But it is Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn that get away as they go into that first bend. Followed closely by Wayne Boyes in second place. That's outfit number 91. And Simon King, of course, in the chair. But our national champions, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn, the leaders they come past us. Wayne Boyes is still there in second. And I mentioned it earlier on about the 250-350 championship. Of course, was held here just over 2 months ago. And the victor in the 500cc sidecars and taking the British Championship this year was Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn. They are the outfit that are leading at the moment. And I've got to say that against those internationals last week, this was one crew that did give them a bit of a run for their money. They didn't have the best of luck in terms of mechanical problems. They certainly showed them that maybe in the future we've got a crew that may be able to beat some of these top Germans. Well, it starts to get very, very close. As you can see, there was a problem initially for Wayne Boyes, and I couldn't see whether that was that he'd got filled in completely. And I just had to take a breather to get rid of the goggles or the visors, but he lost his second place. He's now fighting to get it back again. Look for that inside line. Jerry Squirrel is the rider that's got that second one. I was going to say had that second place. Wayne Boyes does move through from third to second place, and it looks as if he's going to make a challenge on first. Again, he slows up on that back straight. So I wonder if he has got some sort of problem, whether he's just getting caught in the loose and is locking the back wheel up and slowing it completely. Because Jerry Squirrel has got that second place back again. As they come to the line, it's Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn that take it. Jerry Squirrel and Derek Page in second. Wayne Boyes and Simon King have to settle for that third spot. The first leg of the 500 sidecars, the second heat of that, and a win for number 71, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn. In second place, number 34, there's Jerry Squirrel and Derek Page. In third place, number 91, Wayne Boyes and Simon King. Fourth place, number 2. Fifth place, number 4. And the winning time, 1:50.57, a speed that equals an average of 53 miles an hour. 71, 34, 91, 2 and 4, 1:50.57 the time. We turn our attention then to race 5, and it's the first outing for the 500cc solos. A couple of changes in this one. No Graham Thomas, his place is taken by Vince Kinchin, number 8. So that's 314 substituted for number 8. And in addition to the race is number 47, Jason Hilliard. Well, I'd missed also that number 45 is not Mark Smith, it's 215 Dave Mears that takes his place. Well, as we look to that far side, we get underway with the first of the 500 solos. Dave Steen has made a very good start, number 41, but that looks to me like Calvin Tatum has made a better of it as they go into that first bend. Well, watching to see them come round for the first time. Vince Kinchin, I can see back in fourth place, but as you look to the front, it is indeed number 141, Calvin Tatum, followed by number 7, Gary Logg. Oh, good start from Gary Lobb, and he's gone for the inside line as Kelvin Tatum took a gamble and went for the green grass on the outside. Gary Lobb stayed on the racing line on the inside, and he's got himself to the front. So this certainly could be an interesting race to start the 500cc sidecar solo competition off, because Gary Lobb has stayed on the inside. Kelvin Tatum taking the gamble and going for the green grass on the outside. He's done it again. He's gone right the way around the outside. So it's a difficult ride to line to ride, I should say. And indeed, Kelvin Tatum's not getting any advantage from it. Vince Kinchin holding third place at the moment, but really all eyes on those front two, because Gary Lobb riding superbly at the front at the moment. Kelvin Tatum trying everything he knows. He's determined to stay with that outside line though. I wondered if he was going to cut back in. This time he does. He follows Gary Lobb through in that pit bend, and he doesn't like that at all. Well, you can see he's slowing completely in the middle of the bend. He's gone very, very wide. Kelvin, fortunately, not close enough to that third place rider, Vince Kinchin, to lose that second place by doing that. But a tremendous start to the day for Gary Lobb. He takes a very good win to start the afternoon off. Kelvin Tatum gets second place. Vince Kinchin hangs on to that third spot. As he looks to fourth, it is indeed number 14, Ian Humphreys, picking up the fourth spot. I think the conditions showing there that they're going to play a major part in the 500cc competition this afternoon. Interesting gamble that Kelvin Tatum made. Gary Lobb proving that the best way to win, stay on the inside, on the racing line, keep that throttle low. Lobb, the official result for race 5 reads as a win for number 7, Gary Lobb. In second place, number 141, Kelvin Tatum. Third place, number 8, Vince Kinchin, of course. In fourth place, number 14, Ian Humphreys. Fifth place, number 47. Sixth place, 41. Seventh place, number 215, we believe. We thought that might have been 15, but 215 in 7. Eighth place, 154. Ninth place, 121. The winning time, 1:34 exactly. Its speed is an average of 62.02. So 1:34 exactly, 62.02, a very quick time. A win for number 7, Gary Lobb. Well, away we go with race 6. It's of course the second lineup of 500cc competitors we see this afternoon. And interesting to see, this man has made a long journey down here, Steve Bishop. He's been having some very good rides this season. I was going to say he's in the lead, but Peter Lloyd has changed that. Peter Lloyd has got to the front, in front of Steve Bishop. Oh, we'll watch to see what Peter Lloyd can do. He had good rides down at Wimborne last week, so perhaps he is a rider that can contend with these sort of conditions. And he's got a very big lead already on Steve Bishop in second place. Well, it's all starting to change in that third and fourth place. But as Peter Lloyd goes faster, no problem with Peter Lloyd at the moment. Steve Bishop holding second, filling in the rider behind him. That is indeed Ricky Sanford. Tommy Palmer not liking these conditions at all. He's dropping back down the field, but hangs on to that fourth place. Interesting little gamble once again there that Steve Bishop took on that pit bend. He went for the green grass on the outside. Didn't lose anything by it, but I don't think that he's gained anything on Peter Lloyd. Peter goes into his last lap, and it looks to be very, very comfortable indeed. Oh, Steve Bishop looks better now coming off that top bend. Ricky Sanford still hanging on to that third place, but Tommy Palmer getting closer all the time. Now watch to see if this gamble has paid off. Ricky Sanford has gone for the green grass on the outside. Tommy Palmer has stayed on the inside. He's got that third position by doing that. So a good ride from Tommy Palmer this. We watch to see them come to the line. Peter Lloyd takes it comfortably. Steve Bishop comes round off that top bend looking for second place. Tommy Palmer has had a brilliant ride in third spot. He takes third as he crosses the line, and Ricky Sanford finishes in fourth. And as we see, number 169, James Cawthorey, finishing in fifth spot. That's Peter Lloyd in race 6. In second place, number 134, Steve Bishop. Third place, number 21, that's Tommy Palmer. And fourth place, 04, Ricky Sanford. Fifth place, number 169, James Cawthorey. And sixth place, number 9. Seventh place, number 175. Eighth place, number 174, 9th place, number 26, and 10th place, number 310. No other finishes there. The winning time, 1:34.93. It means it's just that little bit slower in average speed, 61.41. 61.41 the average speed, 1:34.93 the time. So, two riders proving that they can get to grips with the conditions. Gary Lobb in race 5, Peter Lloyd in race 6. As we look to the lineup for race 7, we wonder if there's going to be another one in this. Will James joins this lineup of riders in race 7. He rides as number 46. So an additional rider, Will James. And of course the change, no Paul Mitchell, but in his place comes number 122, Graham Brown. Hopefully that means I've picked up all the changes you should have. Trevor Banks goes in this one. Dean Garton goes in this one. He, of course, was last year's winner of this event. Paul Hurry, Duncan Tolhurst, Stuart Dempsey, Dave Perry is great to see back out on the grass track again. And, of course, the addition of Will James. So this promises to be an interesting one. Interesting that we've seen in the last two races only two individuals that really have shown they can ride these conditions. Well, I can see that Dean Garton and Trevor Banks have taken an outside gate. I do think it looks as if they're saying they're going to go without that rider. Paul Hurry I can see in the centre of the gate. Will James alongside Paul Hurry, but it is Paul Hurry that's made the best of the start. Dean Garton goes with him, but coming up very quickly is Duncan Tolhurst on the inside of them. Well, as we look to see them break coming around that first bend, it's Dean Garton on the outside, Paul Hurry on the inside. Dean Garton making the best of it as he comes past me. Paul Hurry stops in the second, Duncan Tolhurst in third, Trevor Banks stops the fourth. Stuart Dempsey holding 5th place at the moment. But as we all watch what goes on in the front of the field, Paul Hurry goes after Dean Gartner, looks very quick going up that back straight, comes up on the inside of Dean Gartner to go into that top corner. Oh, Dean forced to go wide on that top bend as Paul Hurry tries to find a racing line around that top bend. Dean Garton's got it back again though as he comes past us. Well, a good scrap developing for this 3rd and 4th place as well. Duncan Tolhurst and Trevor Banks, and Trevor going for a wide line on this pit bend. He looks to be quick around that bottom bend. He closes up on Duncan Tolhurst. Looking to the front though. Dean Garton holding the lead from Paul Hurry, as he really does look to have this top bend well and truly sussed. He fills Paul Hurry in as he leaves that top bend. Paul's not having the best of times at the moment. They've got very, very close for that 3rd place, as I'm sure you can all see. Duncan Tolhurst forcing Trevor Banks to actually pile the brakes on as he went into that bottom bend. Well, if nothing else, it certainly made racing very interesting. Dean Garton looks to have done the same as Gary Lobb, but they're used to riding this heavy soil. Paul Hurry finishes in 2nd place. Has Duncan Tolhurst hang on to that 3rd? He has indeed. It's Trevor Banks that takes 4th place. Looking a long way back for 5th finisher, it is indeed number 419, Dave Perry. Tremendous one it turned out to be. A very, very good win indeed for number 16, Dean Garton. 2nd place, number 86, Paul Hurry. 3rd place, number 74, Duncan Tolhurst. 4th place, number 5. 5th place, number 419. 6th place, number 12. 7th place, number 122. 8th place, number 46. 9th place, number 73. 10th place, 22. And 11th place, number 34. The winning time, 1:32.67. The speed working out at 62.68 miles per hour. Of course, it's great to see them back to 1000cc sidecar racing. Pleased to see that they've come all the way down here for this silver helmet meeting. Haven't had the best of mechanical luck since they've returned to the sport. Well, still, they seem very, very casual on that start line. Still Tim Bennett and Shane Baker not prepared to get on their machinery, as they can see that Rob Wilson is still nowhere near in line. You can see that in actual fact, I don't know whether you can see this from where you are around the circuit, but the Rob Wilson's machinery, they can't in fact get going at the moment. Rob Wilson pushes his machinery away. With the first of the 1000cc sidecars this afternoon, Rob Wilson on the inside. Shane Baker has gone with him. Tim Bennett is up in third place. There's all sorts of problems back at the back of the field, but no problems for Rob Wilson, as indeed Shane Baker tries to go after him, but he's got quite a gap between him and Rob Wilson. Well, I was anxiously waiting to see what Rob Wilson and Vince Jones would do with this bottom bend. They've decided to go for that inside line. It looks to be quite a good racing line, in fact, and they come round it very, very quick indeed. Shane Baker and Brendan Martin still there in second. Jerry Adams is up there in third place. Tim Bennett still holding that fourth spot as we watch to see the gap start to open up. Oh, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones, I wondered if they were going to actually do a wide line on this pit bend. I think as the sun shines, it's starting to dry the circuit out on the inside. It starts to look as if there is going to be some racing lines around that inside. The difficulty, of course, is that there is so much loose on the circuit that if you get too close to the back wheel of the guy in front, it's so difficult to battle through all that mud that's coming off his back wheel. But Rob Wilson and Vince Jones, no problems for them at the moment as they come round that bottom bend, looking both of them over their shoulders to see where the competition is coming from. The competition is in the hands of Shane Baker, but he's half a straight behind at the moment. Looks to be content with second spot. Jerry Adams and Calvin Smith still there in third place. Tim Bennett holding fourth. Well, that looks to me like number 98, Joe Morgan, Chris Berg have closed up on Tim Bennett. We've lost Stephen Pete Bassett, but Rob Wilson takes the first of the checkered flags. I was anxiously watching Joe Mogg on the far side overtake Tim Bennett. Shane Baker has finished in second place. Jerry Adams finishes in third, and it is indeed going to be number 98, Joe Mogg, who comes across the line and gets the fourth spot. The right-hand sidecars, and a win for outfit number 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. In second place, number 39, Shane Baker and Clinton Martin. In third place, number 55, Jerry Adams and Adam Calvert-Smith. And in fourth place, number 98, Joe Mogg and Chris Berg. In fifth place, number 12, the winning time, 1:53.24. That's an average speed of 58.47. 58.47 the speed then. 1:53.24 the time, and the first of the sidecars won by Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. Taken by number 69, that's Sean Pittock and Ian Rowan. Well, I thought we were going to be away with a quick start, but I can see Gary Jackson has pulled off the line. Looks to be the drier racing line. Very, very quickly indeed. Going up, so we are indeed underway with the second of the sidecars this afternoon. Gary Jackson has not made a very good start. And indeed, John Hiscock gets the best of the start and goes into that first bend, leading. All sorts of problems for Rick Colvin as he slows going into that first bend, but it is John Hiscock, number 184, and Steve Bailey that have made the best of the starts. They come around that pit bend and all sorts of problems for second and third, locking up as they go into that pit bend. Oh, they start to get themselves sorted out, but it's John Hiscock that's got away. Colin Hutton in the road in second place. Oh, that looks to be Darren Bartholomew that is just holding out Gary Jackson in fourth place at the moment. So all sorts of problems with outfits locking up in that bottom bend. I'm sure it was just purely the volume of loose that they're picking up in that bottom bend. And Colin Hutton got the better of it and indeed got away from second place. But John Hiscock and Steve Steve Bailey still there in the lead from Colin Hutton and Tony Bailey in second. Darren Bartholomew and Matthew Link still holding that third place. Gary Jackson not having a good ride at the moment. Trying to get through, as you can see, pushing all the time to get through on the inside of Darren Bartholomew, and indeed he does it going down that back straight. But that's a big, big margin he's got to make up on John Hiscock and Steve Bailey. We'll go into their last lap as they come past us. Colin Hutton still there in the second spot. Oh, Gary Jackson indeed slows as he comes past us. Oh, the red flag indeed out as we've lost those outfits on that bottom corner. Taken by Alan Murray and Martin Stokes. So indeed it looks as if it's a full lineup of 6 outfits. Easy to get underway. Oh, Steve Heath is the rider that's in. Well, I can see the revs going up once again for Steve Smith, but I can see that we've got one crew not exactly ready to go. That's Penny Hook and Jane McLaren. They now do come into the line as they get underway once again. Much better start. Steve Smith gets very close to him as they go into that first bend. It's Mick Cave that goes to the front. Steve Smith up there in second. Steve Heath is the rider in third spot. That I thought had closed right up on Steve Smith, but he loses it a little bit coming out of that bend. Penny Hook is up there in fourth at the moment. Mick Cave noticing that they've brought the circuit in slightly on that bottom bend. So straight away they go to the green grass, and that looks to be much, much better than Mick Cave lead. Steve Smith and Steve Heath, the rider in third spot. Number 191, Steve Heath and Barry Knight, not losing contention with those front two as Steve Smith starts to put Mick Cave under pressure. Oh, again Mick Cave throws it sideways going into that bend, drives hard coming across the apex of the bend. This is where Steve Smith looks very good though, he's picking up a lot of power in the middle of the bend. Both those outfits filling in Steve Heath in third place. Get up close to Mick Cave. One outfit turning round is outfit number 2, Neville Penfold and Paul Randall. So, an interesting lineup in this one. We've got Craig Cheetham, Pete Dyer, Roger Meester, Kevin Simmons, Neville Penfold and Terry Phillips. A wealth of experience on the start line. We'll watch to see what they will make of this circuit. They've all been looking at the way that bottom corner had been pulled in a little bit to allow them a bit more green grass to get onto. Shane Lapham, the last of the passengers to climb on board. Well, away we go. We're watching to see who's made the best of the race, both Roger and riding at Wimbledon last week. There's problems for Roger indeed as they come past us for the first time. As we look to that far side, I can see that Neville Penfold and Paul Randall have pulled to the centre of the circuit. Anxiously trying to make out who that is that's got to the front. My apologies for that, but I didn't recognise the leathers of Craig Cheetham, of course. I should have recognised the machinery. Craig Cheetham and change the passenger today, Clive Reynolds riding at the front of the field, as they're now being caught by Roger Meester and Shane Lapham. So whatever that problem was for Roger Meester, I'm not sure whether it was he came across that loose that he lost complete drive, but he slowed on that first straight. And he's now starting to close on Craig Cheetham. Well, we know that Roger has got the title of the Wimbledon International from last weekend. It was very wet and very hard going and heavy going down there. Dean Camier won the sidecar final after a tremendous race with Alan and John Blewett, so he's certainly experienced and must know how to set the bike up for this type of condition. And indeed, he now goes through in front of Craig Cheetham and Clive Reynolds. You can only look to see the back's going to be, but Craig Cheetham determined not to give that place up too easily. He has another go back at Roger Meester, but now picks up all the massive dirt that comes off that back wheel. So you can see Clive Reynolds desperately trying to clear his vision. Terry Phillips up there in third place, holding on to that third spot. He was put under pressure for third, but he's certainly got it under control now. As we look to see them come round that bottom bend, we're going to see a checkered flag this time for Roger Measor and Shane Lapham, as they make the best of the conditions and take the checkered flag. Their first ride, their first win. Great Cheatham and Clive Reynolds, a good ride from them in second place. Remember, of course, this is race 11. Number 51, Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. In second place, outfit number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. In third place, number 52, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. And in fourth place, number 32, that indeed was Kevin Simmons and Mark Langmaid. The winning time, 1:55.04. The speed, 57.45. 57.45 the speed. The winning time, 1:55.04. Start line, all but Rob Wilson are on the line, ready to go. It'll be interesting to see how Alan and John Blewett go in this one, because, of course, looking back to last week at the Wimbledon International, they were one of the sidecar crews that really did get to grips with this condition. Watch to see them race. Alan and John Blewett have made the best of the start. But they've got Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones up there with them in second place. They, of course, are our national champions, the British Masters title holders, I should say, as Alan and John Blewett get away going down that back straight. And they've opened up a very big gap now on Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. All the outfits looking for that new track on the new. Number 111, it's Goodwin and Charles Bunch going right inside the circuit on that bottom bend. But no problems for Alan and John Blewett as they get away going down that back straight. They do look as if they've got the measure of this circuit as they come round that bottom bend, trying it a little bit wider that time, and that was interesting to see, because I thought the line was on the inside. But Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones still there in second. Carl Bunch still holding third, and Dave Penfold, number 1, 2, 3, and Tony Hayford holding fourth place at the moment, and number 33, Jeff Sims and John Stanley holding fifth place. But as we look to the front, they will go into their last lap as they come past us this time. Alan and John Blewett. Well, I had a chance to talk with Alan this morning, that outfit does look to be a lot quicker now. We saw him have a great result in the Val Fernando earlier on. Getting any good results at all during the middle of the season. He tells me that there was any number of 10 minor faults that they found when they fully stripped the engine. He had the head gasket blowing between cylinders, he had some mutters, and he really now says that he feels the best he's felt about that engine all season. And what a time for it to come good, because we've got a course coming up in this month of October. Some fabulous and then just into November, we turn our attention to the International Bonfire Burn-Up. So it's a great time to get machinery and your own personal motivation exactly right. It's the right-hand sidecars and a win for outfit number 3, Alan and John Blewett. In second place, number 15, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. In third place, number 1, 2, 3, Dave Penfold and passenger Tony Hayford. Fourth place, number 33, Jeff Sims and John Stanley. No other finishes there. The winning time, would you believe, exactly the same as race 11, 1:55.04, and the winning speed, of course, the same, 57.45. So we anxiously look now to see what will happen. Will we see the rerun of race 10? Well, it does look indeed as if Steve Heath, Steve Smith, Alan Murray, Penny Hook, and Mick Cave are coming to the line.
Starting to go up. I thought we were going to be underway, but they've held them on the start line once again. And this time we get away. So the restart of the race. Once again, Steve Smith and Keith Ward. Steve Heath, who had a very good ride first time out, has this time got himself in front of Mick Cave for second place. But Mick Cave looks for that inside. There wasn't enough room to get through. He slots back into third. So a good ride this from Steve Heath and Barry Knight. They've got up into second, and if you remember, it was Mick Cave that was leading the race before it was stopped. Steve Smith and Keith Wall have got themselves to the front this time, though. Well, there's a bit of a gap opening up now between Steve Smith and Steve Heath, but Mick Cave has got himself up into third place. Oh, Penny Hook and Jane McLaren holding fourth place. A little battle of their own, I think, with Rob Wilson Jr. and Will Jones. That's Steve Smith and Keith Wall showing exactly all the experience they've gained over the years. Keeping the power on, that Godden outfit driving hard through what looks to be some very, very deep, loose mud now in both of the corners, but Steve Smith drives down that back straight. Oh, Steve Heath and Barry Knight go on. There's problems for Mick Cave. We saw him put his passenger's hand up in the position when they were on the start line, so I wonder whether there were problems for them. They've indeed pulled out, so it means that Steve Heath moves up in the second. Jane McLaren is now elevated up into third place in front of Rob Wilson, as he knows he's there, but there goes Rob through on the inside. As we watch to see them go into the last bend, it'll be the checkered flag that we made ready for them this time. It's race 10 in your programme, I remind you of. As they cross the line, it's a win for number 21, Steve Smith and Keith Wall. In second place, number 191, Steve Heath and Barry Knight. Third place, number 25, Rob Wilson and Will Jones. And fourth place, number 34, Penny Hook and Jane McLaren. Race 10, a win on number 21, that's of course Steve Smith and Keith Wall. In second place, number 191, Steve Heath, Barry Knight. Third place, number 25, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. Of course, Will Jones, I should say. In fourth place, number 34, and that's Penny Hook and Jane McLaren.
Don't laugh.
The winning time, 156.97, 156.97. The speed equates to 56.47. Well, away we go then. Looking across that far side, Graham Thomas has made the best of the starts. Lee Street goes after him as they go into that first bend. Oh, we'll watch to see them break as they come round. It is indeed Graham Thomas has got away. Lee Street head down as he's up there in second place. Richie Knight holding third spot at the moment. The gap starts to close up to Graham Thomas. I'm sure would be determined. He had a third first time out. So he's anxious for a win, of course. You need to score good points in these point-scoring legs to make sure of a place in that final. Graham Thomas being one of those riders that has our national champion in this class, we would expect to do well every time he goes out. Mark Wadsworth was holding fourth, place 7. I can see that position has now changed. There's all sorts of problems on that bottom bend for the rider that got up into fourth place but is lost on that bottom corner. Richie Knight has pulled out on the far side as well. So as the action gets closer at the front of the field as they go into the last lap, Graham Thomas leading from Lee Street in second. There's a big gap now back to third place, which is rider number 30, Mark Wadsworth. He's got up into that third place by the fact that we lost Richie Knight on the far side. as we look to see them go into the last bend. Lee Street again goes to the outside line. So Lee Street determined to have a go as they come towards the checkered flag. He gets to the front. Graham Thomas now feels the mud that he's been throwing up at Lee Street. A good ride that from Lee Street. Graham Thomas gets second place. We have a long wait then for the third place rider, who is number 30, Mark Race. Their second ride this afternoon and a win for number 75, Lee Street. In second place, number 314, Graham Thomas. Third place, number 30, Mark Race. Fourth place, number 32. Fifth place, number 49. Sixth place, number 48. Seventh place, 37. No other finishes there. The winning time, 1:39.44. The speed, 58.81. So we've now got Graham Thomas moving up to the top of the point scoring as we look to see this challenge between our leg one winners, Richard Smith, number 33, and of course Mark Wadsworth, number 344. Carl Wilkes, number 248, goes in this one as well. He had a second first time out. Well, it is indeed convincingly Mark Wadsworth that gets to the front as he goes round that first bend. He got a tremendous break on the rest of the field. Richard Smith now moving through, I can see back there in third place. Carl Wilkes it is that's up in second place. I thought this would be a good scrap between these three. Richard Smith holding third at the moment. He's had to fight his way through. Carl Wilkes trying to not let Wadsworth get away from him as they go back up that straight. But Mark Wadsworth certainly well and truly in control as he comes round off that top bend. Mark Wadsworth down past us. Carl Wilkes still there in second. Dean Camier is up in the third place. He's got in front of Richard Smith. So a good ride this from Dean Camier. He had a poor first time out, so he'll be anxious to make up some more points in this one. Well, in fact, I'd almost missed on that bottom corner that we'd lost Carl Wilkes in that second spot. As I was watching John Dormer slowly coming past us as Mark Wadsworth goes into his last lap. Carl Wilkes desperately trying to get his machinery going again by the look of it. The yellow flag's out to let the riders know that they've got a fallen rider in front of them. And indeed Carl Wilkes deciding that that was too dangerous a position to stay, so he leaves his machinery in the middle of the track, disappears off himself. But as they come round to us towards the checkered flag, it's going to be a win for Mark Wadsworth. His second of the afternoon. Dean Camier gets a good second place. Tommy Palmer I hadn't noticed had come through into third place. So a good result once again for Tommy Palmer. Afternoon for the flying 250 rider Mark Wadsworth. 344 it is that goes in first place. In second place, number 44, Dean Camier. Third place, number 21, Tommy Palmer. Fourth place, number 132. Fifth place, number 341. Sixth place, number 300. Seventh place, 176. Eighth place, number 33. And the winning time, 140.10. 58.29, the average speed, and that works out. But those numbers again quickly. Race 14, 344, 44, 21, 132, 341, 300, 176 and 33. Well, as we turn our attention to race 15, a chance to see the 500cc sidecars in action once again. Remind you that Kevin Laird had a win first time out. He doesn't beat Brian Palmer, who goes in the second of these seats. But he does beat Malon Lester Goodwin, who indeed have got up in the second place behind them as they come round that first bend. Mechanical problems forcing Malon Lester Goodwin to pull out first time. And they'll be pleased to be up there racing once again. Kevin Laird and Dick Ormeroyd have got to the front though as they come round that bottom bend. Wayne Boys is there in third place. He had a good ride first time out, so he certainly won't be wanting to lose contention with those front two, because he'll know he's in with a chance, as Mel and Lester Goodwin will try and push for that first place. Quite often we'll leave openings for the third place crew to try and come through, but I can see that Wayne Boys has got absolutely filled in. He's definitely trying to remove his goggles and come past us. I think he picked up the mud from both the back wheels of Kevin Laird and of Mel and Lester Goodwin. But as they go up that back straight, then Kevin Laird looks to have got things sorted this afternoon. He's got the measure of this circuit. He had a win first time out. Looks comfortable there in that first place. Although the other two crews seem to be getting close to him, they don't look as if they've been able to get the advantage on any of these spins to try and get in front of Kevin Laird. As I say that, you can see Wayne Boys closing right up on Mel and Lester Goodwin there. Well, it all seemed to slow coming out of that bottom bend, and Wayne Boys goes right up on them. We'll watch to see what happens as they go into the last bend. Kevin Laird has looked good on this top bend. I don't think the others are going to catch him this time. Wayne Boys having a go for the outside of Mel and Lester Goodwin. It's going to be close to the line, but Kevin Laird and Dick Ormeroyd take it. From Mel and Lester Goodwin, Wayne Boys finishes in third, and Jerry Squirrel has to be content with the fourth place. And a win for number 7, Kevin Laird and Dick Ormeroyd. In second place, outfit number 30, Mal and Lester Goodwin. In third place, number 91, Wayne Boys and Simon King. Fourth place, number 34, Jerry Squirrel and Derek Page. The winning time, 1:46.52. The speed, 54.73. 1:46.52, 54.73 the speed. Well, as we look to race 16, we're with the 500 sidecars, of course. I look across that far side, looking to see whether Steve Smith and Rob Cameron are on the line. They are indeed on the line. We remember, of course, that they failed to start in their first ride. Raz Palmer and Scott Dunn, they line on the far side. And away we go with the start of race 16. If we look across that far side, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn have got a tremendous length on the rest of the field. As they even get halfway down the straight, they had 7 or 8 bike lengths on the rest of the field. And it is Steve Smith and Rob Cameron that have got up in the second. So Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn come away from that top end, leading from Steve Smith and Rob Cameron. Outfit number 13 is Keith Baird in third place, but it's Steve Smith that's putting the pressure on Brian Palmer. He's certainly not losing ground on it, as he indeed closes going up that back straight. Well, this will be interesting to see, because I've not seen Steve Smith ride this outfit before. I was very used to seeing Rob Cameron and Steve Smith riding the 1000cc outfit, but Steve's really going well in this one at the moment, as you think that he's got our national champion in front of him. Looks over his shoulder to see that Rob's in exactly the right place. He knows there's nobody else there. Oh, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn must be conscious of the fact that he's a little bit close to them. A bit of an unexpected quantity, these two. Certainly looks as if they've got the machinery. And as they go into their last lap, Brian Palmer still leading from Steve Smith and Rob Cameron. They're a bit closer this time. They were not catching the earth once you get close enough, and indeed they have a go on the inside and get through. Oh, a tremendous ride from Steve Smith and Rob Cameron. Brian Palmer must have wondered where they come from. As Brian Palmer looks for the outside, this will be interesting to see whether they've actually got the legs on each other. That outfit certainly looks to match the power of Brian Palmer as they've got that back straight. And this is a tremendous ride from Steve Smith and Rob Cameron. Well, indeed, they hang on to it as they come to the line. They take the checkered flag. They beat our national champions, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn, in second. As indeed, we look to see third place finishers there, number 78, Lionel Cox and Grace Hagan. They've done well to get through into that third. But a tremendous ride from Steve Smith. What a great shame that he missed his first ride. Well, indeed, we hope that he can get enough from his other ride that he will get into that final, because that looks interesting. For number 220, Steve Smith and Rob Cameron. In second place, number 71, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn. In third place, number 78, Lionel Cox and Grace Hagan. Fourth place, number 13, Keith Baird and Rob Graves. And in fifth place, number 2. No other finishes there. The winning time, 1:46.66. 1:46.66. 54.65, the average speed. Well, as you can see quickly, they've made an attempt to get the rollers out on that bottom turn. Obviously, it was far, far too wet to be able to even attempt to roll earlier on today, but I can see that they've now made a decision to see if it will improve that bottom bend. I think that, without a doubt, is going to make sure that all the riders will go for that inside line on that bottom bend. Well, I know there are lots of catering facilities around the circuit this afternoon. You'll be very well catered for. And indeed, if you haven't bought anything, 122 Graham Brown. Jason Hilliard, number 47, is also an addition to this race. And if we quickly look down through the lineup, we can see that we've got Dean Garden, number 16. He had a win first time out. Vince Kinchin, number 8, was in third spot first time out. I wonder if anybody else can give Dean Garden a race in this one, as he hasn't made the start. I can see that it looks to me like Chris Tritton has got to the front. Oh, Chris Tritton going to the front as they go into that first bend. Vince Kinchin is up there with him. Dean Garden is on the back wheel of him. But it is indeed Chris Tritton that's made the best of it into that bottom bend. Sean Tacey is up there as well. That's the rider in the blue leathers going around the outside. It's Sean Tacey that's got to the front as they go up that back straight. Well, I'd missed Sean's ride first time out. I don't think he featured in the results first time out, but he's certainly right up there this time as he catches an awful crowd going into that top bend. Dean Garden, though, has got to the front. Chris Tritton still there in second. Sean Tacey holding third. Jason Hilliard is up there in fourth place. There's a bit of a battle going on for that second place. Tacey's got it back again from Chris Tritton. Vince Kinchin back in fifth place, and Chris Tritton goes back underneath Sean Tacey. Well, he really is having a good ride at the moment, Chris Tritton, but Dean Garden looks to be in absolutely tremendous form this afternoon. He knew he came here wanting to hang on to the silver helmet that he won at this event last year. Oh, with this sort of form, he's certainly going to be a hard man to beat this afternoon. Chris Tritton still there in second. A battle now for that third place as Sean Tacey's now got Jason Hilliard to contend with. Again, Sean Tacey goes wide. Jason Hilliard has followed him. Vince Kinchin tries to get up on the inside. But as the checkered flag goes for Dean Garden, that's his second win from 2 rides. Chris Tritton crosses the line in second. I think Sean Tacey has hung on to that third place. As Jason Hilliard finishes in fourth, Vince Kinchin in fifth. Number 16, Dean Garden. In second place, number 3, Chris Tritton, and third place, number 34, Sean Tacey. Fourth place was number 47, the addition, Jason Hilliard, and fifth place, number 8, Vince Kinchin. Sixth place, number 122, seventh place, number 73, eighth place, 21, ninth place, number 1, and the winning time, 1:31.94. The speed, 63.41. Oh, we quickly look at race 18 and we see that Gary Lobb goes in this one. Steve Bishop, he had a second first time out. Oh, I'm quickly looking down the list. Obviously Duncan Tolhurst had a third first time out. Ian Humphreys equally had a good ride, finished in fourth place. Number 86, Paul Hurry, he finished in second place. So we wonder if the circuit has changed any from their first ride. We look to that far side and as they start to break. I can see Gary Lobb is in the middle of the field. He's made a good one, but there's riders going with him. Paul Hurry is one of those. It's Paul Hurry that goes round the outside of Gary Lobb as they go into that first bend. Well, who's got the best of it? It's Gary Lobb that comes out in front. He fills Paul Hurry in. David Steen is up there in third place at the moment. Steve Bishop has moved through into fourth. Oh, Gary Lobb really looking for his great form. I wonder if it's going to be a scrap between the two Cornishmen to take this silver helmet this year. Paul Hurry has got other thoughts though as he dives into that top bend. He really threw it into that top bend. Manages to hang on to it, but again he gets the back wheel flying at him from Gary Lobb. Oh, Steve Bishop looking much more comfortable this time. Dave Steen obviously in fourth place now and Steve Bishop has gone past him. But as we look to that far side, the flying Cornishman, Gary Lobb goes into that top bend with a comfortable margin on Paul Hurry. Steve Bishop still there in third, but he looks to be struggling in that third place. Last lap flag shown to Gary Lobb. Steve Bishop comes round leading in third place. And as we lose riders on that bottom bend, you can see that Gary Lobb comfortably goes through. Paul Hurry still there in second, Steve Bishop still there in third. As they come to the checkered flag, it's going to be another win for Gary Lobb. Well, I can see that they've started to get themselves lined up for race 19. Obviously, our apologies for all the hold-ups has been this afternoon, but obviously the conditions really very much against us on the racing circuit. But I can see that somebody got an absolute cracker of a start. It was indeed Kelvin Tatum that got a tremendous start. As they go into that first bend, Trevor Banks has gone after him, but one rider I will be looking for is number 4, Peter Lloyd. He's up there in third place. Paul James doing much better this time. He's up there in fourth place. So a good scrap this one promises to be, because Kelvin Tatum, you remember, took the gamble of going wide much earlier on this afternoon. He lost out on that with Peter Lloyd going tight on the inside of him. But this time you can see that Kelvin Tatum looks to be in control. He's holding a much tighter line. Trevor Banks still close to him. Will James up in third. Peter Lloyd, who had a win first time out, holding fourth place at the moment. But Kelvin Tatum, he's been sitting in the pits a long time waiting for this second ride. He knew that he took a gamble first time out and lost out and only got a second place. Well, I say only second place. That's a very good achievement in this sort of lineup. But he's leading this time as he goes into the last lap. Trevor Banks is there with him. Peter Lloyd tries to go around the outside of Will James and succeeds as they go into that bottom bend. Not a good scrap that for that third place. They go up the back straight. Kelvin Tatum, one more bend to negotiate. As he comes round off that top bend, Trevor Banks has gone incredibly wide. He's tried for the green grass, but as he takes the checkered flag, Kelvin Tatum takes the win. Trevor Banks gets second, Peter Lloyd comes through for third, Will James finishes in fourth, and Dave Perry crosses the line in fifth as we wait quite some time then for sixth place finisher. James Cawthray takes sixth, Mitchell Gordon finishes in seventh. Oh, indeed a good win that for Kelvin Tatum. Under solos, a win for number 141, Kelvin Tatum. In second place, number 5, Trevor Banks. Third place, number 4, Peter Lloyd. Fourth place, number 46, Will James. Fifth place, number 419, Dave Perry. Sixth place, number 169. Seventh place, number 9. Eighth place, 175. Ninth place, 121. 10th place, 154. And the winning time, 132.00. 132 exactly, 63.36. The average speed, 63.36. So indeed, those speeds are very comparable for all three of those races, 17, 18 and 19. We wait to see what happens towards the end of the day, but I think the circuit is rapidly drying out. If they can just keep the loose out to the outside of the field, I think that then we are still going to be in for some very exciting finals at the end of the day. We move our attention back to the sidecar competition. And as we start the second leg rides for the sidecars, race 20 in your programme. Steve Smith goes in this one. Of course, he had a win first time out, number 21. No rustling, of course, his place taken by number 69, but we know that Sean Pittock did have a tumble in his first ride, so I look to the line. Well, indeed, I have just heard from the pits that racing has been cut to 2 legs, so my apologies that I haven't got the information to you sooner. I've just heard from the pits that due to the conditions and the problems they had, then the races in all classes, I would assume, I've not been heard anything else to the contrary, that there won't be any third leg rides. So away we go then with the first of the second leg of the sidecars, and of course it's very now heard that they've only got the 2 rides, but Steve Smith and Tim Wall go into that top bend leading from Jeff Sims up in there in second place. But Steve Smith had a win first time out. He showed us that the Godden engine was able to put its power down, and indeed took a win Sims, number 33, and John Stanley are holding second place. Well, I'm sure you can all see that they've had a go at rolling the circuit now, so we wonder if that will make a difference to the racing line. I can see there's problems down there for Jerry Adams. He unfortunately hasn't been able to get his machinery going. This, of course, being race 21. It was number 20 that was stopped. Race 21 is the outfit that the outfits we've got on the line. They consist of John Hiscock, Roger Measor. I can see that we've got Rob Wilson Jr., number 25. No Jerry Adams as yet. Well, we have indeed got three outfits underway, as we can see Roger Measor making a good start on the inside. It's John Hiscock that's gone after him, remembering of course that these two both had a win first time out. There's problems for Rob Wilson as he indeed pushes the outfit off into the centre of the circuit, so we're left with two outfits only, both of them in fact having a win first time out. Well, I can see there's not even a lot of loose coming off the back wheel of Roger Measor as he comes around that pit bend, so he's proving that this circuit can be raced on. John Hiscock and Steve Bailey of course got together in the middle of this season. Steve Bailey, a very experienced passenger, and looks to be doing good things for John Hiscock now that they've teamed up. Well, Jerry Adams and Adam Calvert-Smith, I can see, have actually got machinery going and have joined the race at the back of the field. Well, it's an interesting position, because I'm sure a lot of the drivers realise that on 2 point scoring legs only, getting them into a semi-final, and indeed I've noticed that Jerry Smith is riding Neville Penfold's machine by the look of it. I might even say it's Jerry Adams riding Neville Penfold's machine. As we go into the last lap, Roger Measor and Shane Lapham making no problems with this at all as they lead going into the last lap. John Hiscock and Steve Bailey holding on to that second. Oh, Jerry Adams coming round. He's got one more lap to do, of course. But as we see the checkered flag go out, this being race 21 in your programme, it's number 51, Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. And I might even get you all to lap score this one yourselves. Because coming round for second place, we've got number 18 for John Hiscock and Steve Bailey. Picking up a third spot, this is of course number 55, Jerry Adams. And they've been out in race 21. We see Rob Wilson and of course Steve Smith in this one. Dives in front as he goes into that first corner. Steve Smith has got himself up in the second, so we could see a good race on our hands this time, as Steve Smith looked very comfortable before this race was stopped, but now he's got Rob Wilson to contend with as they come round that bottom bend. Rob Wilson and Vince Jones at long last have got that outfit going, and they do look to be in very good form. Number 32 is Kevin Simmons up there in third place. Jeff Sims our fourth outfit out, but all eyes I'm sure on those front two coups. Rob Wilson has a quick look over his shoulder. I'm sure he thought that Steve Smith was going to be a lot closer to him than this. Rob Wilson's going well. He knows that it's 2 legs now before we go into those semi-finals. So this has changed the point scoring an awful lot. It's just 2 hard rides. I I'm just wondering whether the pits, I know the pits knew before us, but I'm wondering whether the actual riders in the solo classes knew that it was just 2 points scoring ride, because it makes it very difficult to qualify for some riders. And Rob Wilson's just down here as if it's gone off. Oh, it does indeed sound as if Rob Wilson's bike has gone very, very sick indeed. Well, he's slow going down that bank straight. It went on to one cylinder when it come past me. But Steve Smith and Keith Wall now move through into first place. As they come round that bottom bend, they of course have had a win first time out. That makes it 2 rides, 2 wins for Steve Smith and Keith Wall. Finishing in second, number 32, Kevin Simmons and Mark Langmaid. And it means that number 33, Jeff Sims and John Stanley finish third. Well, I'm sure all of you have realised that we've got Rob Wilson and Vince Jones attempting to push home, because as I mentioned, on 2 point scoring legs only, all points gained can be, or can make an incredible difference, because there's a lot of outfits have packed up this afternoon. We've had a lot of mechanical problems. We've had 1 or 2 outfits going over as well. So if these points are enough to get Rob Wilson into the semi-final, I think that says to me that he knows it's not a serious mechanical problem. So we hope that we will see him out in a semi-final. Mind you, I don't envy them two pushing that machinery in those conditions today. Obviously them doing everything exactly right. They've got their helmets back on, as they would indeed have raced, so they are able to get a finishing position. Plenty of encouragement there from the ever available mechanic, and they did indeed get a checkered flag. So oh, Rob's determined he's going to go underneath the banner as well, look. He's going to make sure that nobody's going to question that. He pushes the machinery over the line. It means that we can now credit him with a 4th place. The official result in race 20, a win for number 21, Steve Smith and Keith Wall. In 2nd place, number 32, Kevin Simmons and Mark Langmaid. 3rd place, number 33, Jeff Sims and John Stanley. And 4th place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. The winning time, 1:52.36. The speed, 58.80 miles per hour, an average. 1:52.36 that time. Number 112, Rick Colvin on the inside. Ivor Matthews is next to him. Craig Cheetham and Shane Baker and Penny Hook and Jane McLaren on the outside. Well, in fact, there's one more outfit as well making his way to the line. That looks to me like Colin Hutton, number 31. So it does look like a full lineup for race 22. Ivor Matthews had a 2nd place first time out, so he'll be looking to consolidate that in this one. No result in his first ride, but well, I think you'll now know why we don't normally have too many people on the inside of the track. But indeed, Rob Wilson, fortunately, watching the racing, saw Ivor Matthews coming forward, and they managed to get out of the way, and I'm pleased to see that Ivor Matthews has got back on the circuit. But Shane Baker and Justin Martin get away. They had a 2nd first time out. Oh, Craig Cheetham up there in 2nd place. It'd be so disappointing he never got that result first time out. Disappointing that last year's winner Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones are right there at the back of the field. It certainly all went wrong for them on that starting straight. Watson did go around that top bend. Shane Baker and Glenda Martin in good form at the moment as they go down that back straight. A 2nd first time out, so this position I'm sure is going to mean a place in the semi-final for them. lap. They leap in the air as they come past us. Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds still there in second place. A good ride from them. It's going to be a good result also for Colin Hutton up there in third. Penny Hook still leading that battle, and what an achievement for Penny Hook this one's going to be, because she'll be able to go home tonight saying that she beat the British Masters champion. It's Craig Cheatham who pulled off into the centre. It looks as if he lost Clive Reynolds. But as I mentioned a moment ago, you see the checkered flag going for Shane Baker. Colin Hutton finishes in second now, as indeed Penny Hook comes to the line. Rick Colvin has come through on the inside, but Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones finished behind them, so those outfits can say that they finished in front of our British Masters champion. And Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds getting back together, come across the line to get a result. Race 22 then, a win for number 39, and a very good win indeed for Shane Baker and Glinda Martin. In second place, number 31, Colin Hutton and Tony Baisby. Third place, and only just on the line, number 112, Rick Colvin and Nick Colvin. In fourth place, number 34, that of course is Penny Hook and Jane McLaren. And fifth place, number 15, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. Sixth place finisher there, number 1, Craig Cheatham, and the winning time 150.67. The speed averaging out at 59.70. This afternoon, past me into this. Steve Heath has got up in the second. Gary Jackson in third place at the moment. So I'll be expecting to see some improvement on that from Gary Jackson, but he looks to be lagging back at the moment. As Alan and John Blewett get away. Well, are they going to be the crew that take it this afternoon, because they really do look to be in form. Steve Heath goes well in second place. Gary Jackson rolling on him all the time. Oh, this is where he starts to get close. He's in front of his dirt line. He's not got the dirt throwing up in his face, so that's a much better, more comfortable racing position. He slips back a little bit on that top bend. But as Alan and John Blewett get away, we'll watch the action for that second place, because Gary Jackson will be anxious to get in front of Steve Heath. He knows he scored badly in his first time. He's trying to get into those semi-finals. Again, he pushes hard on this bottom bend. He's looking for the inside as he comes past us, and indeed he forces his way through. Oh, that was unfortunate for Steve Heath, because he's looked quicker on this top part of the circuit, but Gary Jackson has got through, and now Gary Jackson speeds away from him down that back straight. Well, that's a very big gap for Gary Jackson to close up, but he'll be trying to get a bit closer to Alan and John Blewett, so if he can get off the start in the semi-final, he's going to be a force to contend with. Well, he slows as he comes past us. But Alan and John Blewett do look to be in brilliant form at the moment. I mentioned earlier on today, they did tell me that they've just recently stripped that engine down and completely rebuilt it. They can't say there was any one major fault, but there was perhaps 5 or 6 different things that possibly have taken the edge off the motor. They think they've now got all those out of the engine, and it does look to be in great form. Number 3, Alan and John Blewett. In second place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. Third place, number 191, Steve Heath and Barry Knight. The winning time, 150.24, 59.93. 59.93, 150.24. So we move on to race 24. Obviously our apologies for all the delays that's been this afternoon. But, to make no excuses for the riders. I mean, the conditions have been against them. We've got 5 outfits in line once again, and we need to take it up and we get underway. Terry Phillips goes after him. Dave Penfold is up there as well. Those 3 outfits away from Alan Murray in 4th place. But it is Tim Bennett, outfit number 12, and Paul Baysby leading as they go down that back straight. From Dave Penfold and Tony Hayford, Terry Phillips in third place at the moment, slowing as he goes into that bottom bend. Watch him come round off that bottom bend. He looks to be having a very good ride. Dave Penfold still there in second with passenger Tony Hayford. Terry Phillips closes a little bit on that second place. But it's Tim Bennett that's got away from the rest of the field and are winning this second ride. Remembering that he didn't score very well in his first ride, but even just one win could be enough to get him into that semi-final. Right, Dave Penfold still there in second, looking over his shoulder. Terry Phillips is getting close to him. Trevor Colvin and Clive Miles are there in fourth place at the moment. And Alan Murray goes very, very wide on this bottom bend. That it's getting very close to that second place. Dave Penfold still not comfortably in second place. Terry Phillips as Dave Penfold goes very wide as he comes past us. Terry Phillips takes advantage and goes on the inside. Tim Bennett still managing to stay out in front as he goes down that back straight. Terry Phillips is up there in second, and Terry had a second first time out, so 2 seconds will ensure that we'll see him in the semi-finals, I'm sure. Second flag goes, Tim Bennett takes the win. Third place to Dave Penfold. And only other fourth place finisher there, number 99, Trevor Colvin. And Jerry Adams and Adam Bell on the outside. I think they are fairly evenly matched. Jerry Adams looks to have just got a front wheel in front as they go into that first bend, but Dave Penfold cuts across in front of him as they go into that first bend. Oh, that was a very brave first bend from Dave Penfold and Tony Hayford. They're fighting, of course, for a qualifying place in the semi-final. And as we watch them come round this pit bend, two outfits, of course, and of course these two outfits getting the advantage of the prepared circuit, and it does look to be riding very well at the moment. Oh, Jerry Adams looking to find a way round. He looks for the outside as he goes down that back straight. He slows though going down that back straight. That's where Dave Penfold looks to be a bit quicker. Watch them come into this bend. Dave Penfold holding a good line at the moment. To go wide earlier on this afternoon coming out of that bottom bend, but he seems to have learned his lessons. Jerry Adams being absolutely filled in as he comes past me. That makes driving difficult, of course. As they go down that back straight, Dave Penfold certainly looking to make it look as if he's going to be the one that goes into that second semi-final. But Jerry Adams will not be giving up at all. He closes right up again coming into that pit bend. One more lap to go as they go past us this time. Jerry Adams will see that last lap line. He's in front of the dirt. He's got close to the back wheel of Dave Penfold, and now he starts to look for the outside line. He accelerates around the outside. They're together as they go down that back straight. Well, Dave Penfold has looked quicker down this back straight, and again he pulls away, but Jerry Adams in a much, much stronger position as he dives around the outside. The two outfits almost together as they come around that pit bend, and Jerry Adams is on in front of Dave Penfold. Jerry Adams makes it on the line. Oh, a brilliant ride from Jerry Adams and Adam Gelfer-Smith. Indeed, they left it to the last lap, but indeed they obviously kept a little bit in reserve, and they get that qualifying place in the second semi-final. So, add number 55 into race 40 as your last qualifier for that second semi-final. He has looked in great form this afternoon. He's had 2 rides and 2 wins to get into this semi-final. Next to him on the line, I'm sure we're going to see number 141. That, of course, is Kelvin Tatum. And Kelvin had a very poor result first time out. I say poor by his standards, really. Finishing in third spot, but he did get a win second time out. And the circuit has changed quite considerably since those early races. Had a wonderful conversation with somebody earlier on in the interval. I should say earlier on in the interval just a few moments ago. I was talking earlier on with the 500 sidecars round, and I was saying what a great treat it was. Those of you that travelled down to Wimborne last week, great to see the very quick German sidecars over here. Indeed, there was a French crew as well, and it was great to see that the Wimborne Club were able to host them for their international. Well, I've been told by Mick O'Donnell that the East Kent Club that have got that boarded circuit up at High Holden are at the final stages of negotiating for a lot of the 500cc German crews, some of the top crews, to come over for a big event on the 9th of May next year. So that's certainly something to look forward to already for next season. I was hoping that I'd see those very quick German sidecars again. He now tells me I've got the opportunity to see them. If all negotiations go well, that's the 9th of May at the High Holden circuit, and one certainly to watch the press for more details. He said to me that he's at the final stages. He heard me mention that I would like to see them again because they really were spectacular. If you missed that meeting last week, they really were spectacular drivers and very, very experienced. So that's certainly something bearing in mind for next year. As we turn our attention to today's racing, of course, we've got the first semi-final sitting on the line, and a very, very strong lineup it is for this first semi. I thought we were going to be underway there, as I'd seen one or two of the riders putting the revs on, but to the start line, the tapes go up and away we go with the first of the semi-finals. Kelvin Tatum has made a good one, Trevor Banks has made a good one as well, and Gary Lobb goes up in third place. Trevor Banks it is that leads from Kelvin Tatum going into that first bend. Gary Lobb is up there in third place. Paul Hurry I can see coming through in fourth place, but it's Trevor Banks that gets away. Kelvin Tatum still there in second place. Gary Lobb looking for that inside line as he tries to get through on the inside of Kelvin Tatum. But Paul Hurry still there as well in fourth place, goes after Gary Lobb. Well, if Paul Hurry closes and goes through on the inside of Gary Lobb into third place, Kelvin Tatum had closed right up on Trevor Banks. But Trevor Banks digs in as he comes out of that top bend. Powers on fast up, and Kelvin Tatum not having an answer to him at the moment. Well, as they say, indeed, as they were on that first lap, Trevor Banks, Kelvin Tatum, Gary Lobb, all of them head down going up that back straight. Paul Hurry again tries to close. There's quite a gap now opened up between those first four and fifth and sixth place. Trevor Banks has a sneaky look over his shoulder as he goes into the last lap. Well, Will James it is just got that fifth place. Tommy Palmer is still there in sixth place, but it is Will James that's got the better of those back positions as we watch to see them come towards the checkered flag. Trevor Banks has made this semi-final his. As he looks over his shoulder, he takes it. Kelvin Tatum gets second, Gary Lobb in third, Paul Hurry in fourth, and Will James does hang on to that fifth place. Tommy Palmer finishes in sixth, and Jason Hilliard in seventh. For number 5, Trevor Banks, it's him that goes into that result as winning the first semi-final. In second place, number 141, Kelvin Tatum. Third place, number 7, Gary Lobb. Fourth place, number 87, Paul Hurry. 86, I should say, my apologies, Paul Hurry. Fifth place, number 46, Will James. And sixth place, number 21. Seventh place, 47. Eighth place, number 3. Ninth place, 74. 10th place, 73. And 11th place, I know you haven't got space there, but that was 174. The winning time, 129.06. That equates to a speed of 65.46. And a lineup that includes last year's winner, number 16, Dean Garton. Alongside him, number 4, Peter Lloyd. 134, Steve Bishop. Number 8 is Vince Kinchin. Number 14 is Ian Humphreys. 419, Dave Perry. 169, James Cawthorey. Number 9, Mitchell Godden. Number 215, Dave Mears. 34 is Sean Tacey. 154 is Adrian Mower. And 121 is Alan Harmer. Oh, we look to that far side. Some very confident riders once again in his second semi-final. Dean Garton has made an absolutely brilliant start. He goes up in front of the field as he goes into that first bend. Steve Bishop I can see up there in third place at the moment on the inside, but it is Dean Garton that's got away from them. Ian Humphreys up in the second place. Sean Tacey up in the third now as he moves in front of Steve Bishop. So Ian Humphreys going well in second place, but he's got to go some to catch that flying Dean Garton as he gets away going up that back straight. He really does look to be in very good form. Peter Lloyd I can see moving through now as he missed the start completely. He's got himself through into 6th position at the moment, looking to find a way through as he now gets up into 4th place up behind Sean Casey. Oh, Dave Mears is the rider in 5th, and Steve Bishop, Vince Kinchin now going around the outside of him. But watch Peter Lloyd as Sean Casey looks over his shoulder in 3rd place. He knows that Peter Lloyd is right there with him. Oh, there's no question about the leader, Dean Garton, going brilliantly at the moment as he goes into his last lap. Ian Humphries still comfortably there in 2nd, but Sean Casey is really having to work for this 3rd place. Peter Lloyd right there with him. And this is where Peter Lloyd looks good as he comes off that bottom bend. He closes right up on Sean Casey going up the back straight. Pulls a tear off as he goes halfway up that straight. It's Muddy you've got to contend with as much as anything else this afternoon. There's the checkered flag for Dean Garton. He takes the 2nd semi-final. Ian Humphries gets 2nd. Sean Casey, or was it? Just on the line, Sean Casey from Peter Lloyd. Now Dave Mears gets 5th, and Vince Kinchin just finishes in front of Steve Bishop and Dave Perry. 2nd semi-final, a win for number 16, Dean Garton. In 2nd place, number 14, Ian Humphries. In 3rd place, and it was tight on the line, but just by a whisker, number 4, Peter Lloyd. In 4th place, number 34, Sean Casey. 5th place, number 215, Dave Mears. 6th place, number 8, Vince Kinchin. 7th place, number 134, Steve Bishop. 8th place, number 419, Dave Perry. 9th place, number 121, and 10th place, number 9. The winning time, 128.83. The speed equating to 65.63. Very used to actually being on the start line quite early because more and more clubs are adopting the philosophy of top point scorers being allowed to make choice of gate rather than drawing for gate positions. Being a top point scorer quite often, of course, that means that you are on that start gate a lot longer than everybody else. We see that Tim Bennett is one of the last crews to come into line. Steve Heath now moving around the back as well. He's had a good afternoon here this afternoon, Steve Heath. Just those two to come into line. It does look as if we've got 6 crews ready to go. The tapes are set. Bennett's just the last one to get on the machinery. I don't believe it. Well, all that way here, I wasn't happy with it, so he put his hand up and that tape, it looks very rapid to me. Alan and John Blewett come past him as they come past me though, and it's Alan and John Blewett that go into that first bend, leading from Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. But Roger Measor looks for the gap on the inside and goes through. Well, a tremendous first corner for Roger Measor and Shane Lapham as they pile the power on going down that back straight. Well, Alan and John Blewett have looked quick this afternoon, but Roger Measor will be conscious of that. They want to put up a good show in this semi-final. Steve Heath going well in 3rd place at the moment. That's a good ride from him. Tim Bennett up into 4th place. Terry Phillips finding it out with Tim Bennett for that 4th spot. But look at the lead that Roger Measor has got on Alan and John Blewett. I really did not expect to see this sort of lead. These two were the fastest crews down at Wimborne last week. And it was Roger that got the victory there. But I saw that Alan and John Blewett have got the measure of this circuit a little bit better the way they were going this afternoon. They'll be very disappointed to see the sort of lead that Roger has built up. Roger very calmly looks over his shoulder. It looks as if he was expecting Alan and John Blewett to be closer to him as well. Steve Heath goes down the back straight in 3rd place as Terry Phillips has gone off the circuit. He has allowed that 3rd place or 4th place to go to Bennett. We really just quietly watch them go round and score even more points by winning this semi-final. Last bend approaches as Roger Measor can now see he's closing up on Terry Phillips. It'll be the checkered flag this time for them as they come to the line. Roger Measor and Shane Lapham take the checkered flag. They take the first semi-final. Alan and John Blewett get 2nd. Tim Bennett's got close, but Steve Heath and Barry Knight are going to take 3rd place. Tim Bennett takes 4th. Colin Hutton takes 5th place. Number 51, Roger Measor and Shane Lapham. In 2nd place, outfit number 3, Alan and John Blewett. In 3rd place, number 191, Steve Heat and Barry Knight. 4th place, number 12, Tim Bennett and passenger Paul Baisby. In 5th place, number 31, Colin Hutton and Tony Baisby. In 6th place, number 52, Terry Phillips and Chris Spires. The winning time, 146.03, 62.31, that equates to 62.31, 146.03.
More delicate now.
Well, as we look to the lineup of the second semi-final, I can see that Steve Smith has already made his way to the line. He's outfit number 21, Steve Smith and Keith Wall. I just realised that Terry Phillips should have been in this one, in fact, but he wanted the first one, so I wonder if John Hiscock will go in this one. Well, I can pass on a little bit of information to you actually that has just helped me out of a little bit of a problem. I hadn't been able to spot the right people, but I'm told now that the result in that first semi-final was a 6th place to number 184. It appears that John Hiscock had borrowed Terry Phillips' bike. So I wonder why I hadn't seen John Hiscock out there. Number 184 features in the results then as 6th place in that first semi-final, because you will see that the bike is coming out again, this time with Terry Phillips on it. As one of my lap scorers says, we hope it's Terry Phillips on it this time. Well, Jerry Adams is the last one to come in line, as I can see that Terry Phillips has just pulled away from the start line. He now comes in line, the hands go down, the guard is moved away. Away you go the tape, look at Shane Baker certainly did. As they go into that first corner, Rob Wilson goes on the inside of Shane Baker. Well, that's getting very, very tight on that first corner, but it is Rob Wilson and Vince Jones that have made the best of it. As they go down that back straight, Shane Baker and Clinton Martin go after them. Well, I'm looking anxiously for Steve Smith. He's back in 4th place at the moment. And you'll watch to see them come round past that. Rob Wilson there. He's very good form at the moment. He's had all sorts of problems this afternoon. Terry Phillips up in 3rd place at the moment, so Steve Smith has got Terry Phillips to contend with before he goes after those front two. But Rob Wilson and Vince Jones, very much the same as we saw Roger Measor and Alan Blewett pull away from the field. We've got the same thing again in this second semi-final. Rob Wilson has pulled away, Shane Baker has gone after him. They in turn have pulled away from 3rd place, number 52. Terry Phillips and Steve Smith moves up the inside of him. Well, Gary Jackson's not really in the form that we've seen him in this season here this afternoon. He's back in 5th place at the moment. I say that as he moves through inside Terry Phillips, as it looks like Terry's picked up problems on the far side. He pulls off on the far side. Indeed, we watch to see Rob Wilson and Vince Jones come through with their last lap flag. Shane Baker and Clinton Martin still there in 2nd. Steve Smith still there in 3rd. Gary Jackson in a disappointing 4th place at the moment. But as we see them come round that bottom bend, going to be a checkered flag for this second semi-final for Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. They won it from start to finish. A great first corner from them. Get themselves just in front of Shane Baker. That indeed is how it stays. Steve Smith had the work to do to get through for 3rd. Gary Jackson picks up 4th. Vincing win for the outfit number 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. In 2nd place, number 39, Shane Baker and Clinton Martin. In third place, number 21, the outfit of Steve Smith and Keith Wall. Fourth place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. Fifth place, number 55, Jerry Adams, Adam Cowper-Smith. The winning time, 1:49.11. The speed, 60.55. 24, 39, 21, 23, 55, no 6. The winning time, 1:49.11. And a very impressive lineup of 250s that were collected here. And as we look at the qualifiers for the 250, I say a very impressive lineup. Of course, we did have the 250 British Championships earlier this year, and a lot of these riders did take part in that. Of course, our British champion is Graham Thomas. He's riding number 314. So that's one to look out for, but Mark Wadsworth is always very quick on the 250, and that is Wadsworth that you can pick out getting away from the rest of the field. He wins a lot of his races from start to finish. He is a tremendous starter. Lee Street is one to look for in those pink leathers coming round in second place, but it is Mark Wadsworth that's got away at the moment. Looking for Richard Smith perhaps, as we can see. Well, Graham Thomas is up there in third place. Dean Camier up there in fourth at the moment. Lee Street still there in second. Trying to close on Mark Wadsworth all the time, but Mark Wadsworth, a very convincing 250cc rider. He takes a lot of beating, and Lee Street closes up again. Dean Camier is up there as well in third place. Oh, we pick them up as they go past, as Wadsworth still leads. Graham Thomas has now lost that battle with Dean Camier, and Lee Street again has got close to Mark Wadsworth. Well, he's certainly going to make him ride for it. As Dean Camier has pulled away from Graham Thomas, he's closing up on those front two as he can see them battling it out. He's trying to gain ground on those two as they trying to keep each other out, but it is Mark Wadsworth that leads as he goes into his last lap. Lee Street goes after him. Dean Camier still there in third. Graham Thomas in fourth. Oh, Terry Giles is the rider in fifth, and Street goes round the outside. Oh, a tremendous ride from Lee Street as he goes up that back straight, leading Mark Wadsworth, but watch Wadsworth come back at him as they go into this last bend. Those two together. And Lee Street has managed to close the door on him as he comes to the line. This is a brilliant win for Lee Street. Mark Wadsworth gets second, but only just from Dean Camier. But what a tremendous ride on the 250 for Lee Street. He'll be very, very pleased with that one. It's not very often that we see Mark Wadsworth beaten, and Lee Street has managed to do it this afternoon. Well, indeed, as Lee Street comes round, please show him your appreciation, because that is not an easy thing to do, to beat Mark Wadsworth. Well, he'd be very, very pleased with that result, I'm sure. As he comes round, let's give you the official result, as it's a win for number 75, Lee Street. In second place, number 344, Mark Wadsworth. Third place, number 44, Dean Camier. Fourth place, number 300, Terry Giles. In fifth place, number 314, Graham Thomas. Sixth place, number 49, John Pilcher. Seventh place, 341, Colin Howe. Eighth place, number 30. Ninth place, 32. 10th place, 132. And 11th place, 37. The winning time, 137.02, 137.02. The speed, 60.09. Well, as we move to race 42, it's the 500 sidecars that line up. We've got coming to the line number 7, Kevin Laird and Dick Olroyd. We've got number 71, our national champions, Brian Palmer and Scott Dunn. Number 78, Lionel Cox and Grace Hagan. Number 34, Jerry Squirrel and Derek Page. Number 91, Wayne Boys and Simon King. And number 220, Steve Smith and Rob Cameron. Well, if you remember back to the last race we saw in the 500cc sidecars, it was the ride from Steve Smith that I think impressed most of us, because that was a little bit unexpected for me. I've not seen him on this 500 before, and he managed to beat Brian Palmer. Oh, we watch to see what happened as we look across that far side. Oh, I can see that they're all on that start line. Oh, they've all bunched themselves together on the inside of that start line, and it looks like Brian Palmer has made the best of the start. Oh, looking for that 2-2-0 as he comes through on the inside, Steve Smith and Rob Cameron. Oh, indeed, as we look to that first corner, Brian Palmer has indeed come out of that bend, leading as they come down past us. Kevin Laird is up in second place, but it was Steve Smith and Rob Cameron that lost it on that first bend.